Good evening, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior Q, and this here is marinade in a bag. Now, what we did was we put 3 pounds of chicken into this bag. We got all the air out, and we stuck it in the freezer. That was 2 weeks ago. Last night, I took it out, stuck it in my refrigerator, and it was still frozen solid. So, this is for the Old Ways Summer of Giving competition, and it is also an installment in the Mealtime Freedom. So, we stuck it in the freezer, got a good price on some chicken, stuck it in this bag, which I already had in my preps for like a year. It was still good though. So, I stuck the chicken in this bag, and I stuck it in the freezer. That's how we preserved it. And then we took it out last night and stuck it in the refrigerator to defrost. And it's been in my refrigerator since 8 o'clock yesterday. In my refrigerator since 8 o'clock last night. And now it's 10 o'clock and it's still frozen solid. So, I put it in some cool water earlier and it's mostly defrosted. So now we're going to open it up and stick it into a roaster pan and get it cooking. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so we've got it all in there, all the marinade out, and the chicken thighs into the roaster. We're going to cover that up now. Preheat our oven to 375. And since these are still just a tad bit frozen, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there while it's preheating. In the oven. So, after the chicken finished baking last night, my phone decided to not record. So, this is the meat of that chicken. And we are going to put it back in the fridge. It's been in the fridge all night. But we're going to put it back in the fridge because I've got more chicken in there. I had a rotisserie chicken. And so we're going to make something out of this right here. I'm not sure what. But we also have this that I took out of the freezer. This was an egg mix, and it was cheesy Italian egg casserole, put in there June of 2023. It contained 12 eggs, 2 cups of milk, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, and the directions are thaw overnight, pour into 9x13 after squishing bag, which I did before I put the soapy water in it. And now that is in a 9x13 ready to go in the oven. So here is our uncooked Italian egg and cheese bake, casserole, whatever you want to call it. No bread, just milk, egg, cheese, Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. And it's going to go into a preheated 375 degree oven for 45 minutes. Oops. And I'll come back when it's done. Now, some people are very worried about wasting the plastic. These are Ziploc freezer bags. And it's one of the only times that I buy name brand because you can reuse these over and over and over again. All I'm doing is put a little bit of Dawn dish soap in there, and I'm letting it get nice and clean. And this part also will wash off, so that's not a big deal. And that way you don't have to keep buying your plastic over and over again. You can use reusable bags. I have reusable bags, but sometimes I just prefer to use these because one, I have them, and like things for like eggs and my egg bakes and my breakfast do a lot better laying down in these than they do in the other reusable bags. So don't throw away your bags. Go ahead, invest in the Ziploc storage bags. They are the strongest bags I've found. Trust me, I've tried quite a few. They also have the best zippers on them. Sometimes I can't even get the zippers undone without two hands. So these are the best bags to get. Plus, you can reuse them over and over again because they're so strong. And just wash them, and that way you don't have to throw them away and worry about, that going into a landfill. So, I decided I needed to measure this little guy. It's 2.8 ounces, so we're going to put... Okay, so my daughter, Owl, decided to inform me that she really doesn't care for the taste of this Napa cabbage, but she likes cabbage rolls. So what we're going to do is use this Napa cabbage and a recipe I adapted last night for cabbage rolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart and wash it really good. I've already washed the Chinese broccoli, and we're going to add that and some of the leaves, the big leaves from this Napa cabbage, into the broth that I had making out of the garlic parmesan chicken and the rotisserie chicken, which was a lemon pepper. And so I boiled that pretty much all day, and this is what's left of the broth. So I'm going to go ahead and put those cabbage leaves and the Chinese broccoli leaves into this and get those cooking. I've added some granulated garlic, some pepper, some onion powder, and some ground oregano. And this is, like I said, this is the broth from the chicken, both of which are already seasoned. But I want to get these cabbage leaves nice and tender so that they can roll. So we're going to let it sit there and simmer for 10 minutes, and then we'll check. Because I already have my Italian breakfast bake in the oven, and it's got 4 more minutes. I don't want to mess with that timer. But I do want to make sure that this cabbage does not turn to sog. Yummy! Our Italian egg and cheese bake, or casserole, whatever you want to call it, is done. It is perfectly browned, and the knife came out clean, except for that. That is actually just Parmesan cheese that's in the middle of there. So we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes, and then we're going to cut into it and have a taste. Damn, kid. So I just took a taste of the Italian cheese and egg casserole. It's magnificent. I'm so proud of me. So, recipe down below along with the directions, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, so I'm done boiling down the seasoned Chinese broccoli and the baby spinach. And that's what's left of the seasoned broth from that. Again, here's our beautiful little cabbage that we're going to roll in a minute. And I've got 4 cups of that seasoned broth in here, and I'm about to put 2 cups of rice. So, like I said, 4 cups of the seasoned veggie broth and 2 cups of basmati rice, and we're going to let that come up to a boil, and then we're going to cover it and put it down to simmer for 20 minutes, or however your rice says to cook it. Alright, so the rice is done, and now we are going to add some meat, which is going to be our chicken. We're going to add back into this container the spinach and the Chinese broccoli. Alright, so now we are going to cut the garlic parmesan chicken that I cooked last night. I've already deboned it and taken most of the skin off, put that into the stock pot to make some chicken broth, which I then added the vegetables to, so now it's chicken bone broth, or chicken veggie broth. Alright, let me get to chopping. So, we now have the chicken in there, and we're going to stir it up and add any seasonings. Alright, so just in case you're wondering, it's very hard to roll cabbage with one hand. So I went ahead and rolled them up before I put them in there, or before I turned on the camera, because it just wasn't working for me. And now I'm going to put them in the oven, which is set to 375 for about 15 minutes. Everything's cooked. I just want to heat it through. So I am not going to cover it. I want it to be a little crispy. I also put a little bit of the rice concoction on top. And now we're going to stick it in the oven. And here is a finished product. I've already had one. I couldn't eat much more because I already had that pie and some ice cream. But they are very tasty. The only thing I'd like to do, I'd like to get them a little crisper. So I might try frying them tomorrow, maybe. Anyways, they're good just the way they are. And I'm the only one eating them, so oh well. Now the kids will eat the chicken and rice mix, but they will not eat the cabbage. Even with it cooked the way it is. My daughter stuck it in her mouth, bless her heart, and she's like, "Oh, the texture." So it's a texture thing with these kids. But she'll eat the chicken and rice, so that's fine. Y'all have a great night, and don't forget to check out Old Ways Summer of Giving. And that is what this is for. And also for hashtag Mealtime Freedom. Thank you. Good night.